Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love, everybody. Hey, this is Sister Naira with the Heal on Purpose podcast, hosted by the Repair of the Black Family, your transformational life coach, speaker, master retreat leader, author, and most importantly, I am your host today. I am truly, truly, truly excited. Once again, we are bringing another effective podcast that you can actually listen to and apply in your everyday life. We strive to bring guests that's going to bring about solutions. Okay. So before I really get started, if y'all notice that my voice is a little raspy, please forgive me because it is. I was out working yesterday and it was raining and it kind of just got my voice a little raspy. However, I'm not the main speaker. So therefore, you all can be able to listen to my main speaker, my host, my guest today, and pray that the message is clear. Okay. And so with that being said, as you come onto the podcast, please, if you are on Facebook, go ahead and drop us some yellow hearts. And if you really support the Repair of the Black Family, go ahead and purchase those stars. In addition to that, we ask that you share the podcast. Let's get this message out far and wide. If you're listening on YouTube, we ask that you like and subscribe to the podcast. So every single week you are getting a message that will bring you enlightenment that will actually help to impact your healing journey. And again, if you are listening via Instagram, go ahead and like and follow the page, as well as on all major podcast platforms. We ask that you download the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, and give us a review. And I am not going to hold you any longer with my raspy voice, but I am truly excited because my guest today is known as the Mr. Overcomer. Okay. His name is Kendall Myers, also known as Mr. Overcomer, has a personal development company called It's Time to Step Up. He is an empowerment speaker, certified purpose coach, development facilitator, and author with the title of Global Empowerment Leader. This is also not only Mr. Overcomer, but he is my friend. He is a colleague of mine. How you doing, Brother Kendall?
Hey, blessed, black, and highly favored.
Right. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. I gotta hear that one more time. How are you doing, Brother Kendall?
In the words of Charlemagne the God, blessed, black, and highly favored.
Blessed, black, and highly favored. Come on now. I don't know. I've never heard Brother Charlemagne say that, but I always say I'm blessed and highly favored. Now you just done gave me another little twist. We gonna quote Mr. Charlemagne the God, okay?
Yes,
blessed, black, and highly favored.
Yes.
And I know, Brother Kendall, we are students of Mr. Les Brown, and we definitely met through his program, and I'm just so excited to have you as a Black man here on this show, on this podcast, but also as an educator, as an enlightener, and as one that can really bring forth solutions and impact, right?
Yes.
Impact the lives of the listeners. So, Mr. Kendall, listen, I read your bio. I'm like, good God Almighty.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. And so as we get ready to roll up into the show, Brother Kendall, I mean, you are located in what city? What city are you in?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
You're in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, yes, indeed. And so as you are residing in Atlanta, Georgia, where are you from?
I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, Midwest.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's a big shift.
It is.
It's a big shift. Yes, indeed. Now, how many siblings do you have?
I have 2.5. I have a middle brother that I grew up with. We are 8 years apart. And I have an oldest brother, which is my father's son, which is 50 years old. So we are 20 years apart.
Oh, wow. Yeah. What was that like growing up?
So I guess I got to get right into it.
Okay.
So my oldest brother, I knew about him. He knew about us. But I actually didn't meet him into a significant event in my life.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. And so if you don't mind sharing, what was the significant event?
That event was losing my father to stage 4 lung cancer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so how did that impact your life?
Um, in a tremendous way. Uh, I didn't meet him until a week before my father passed. Me or my middle brother, and
Mm-hmm.
that was the point of my life when I was around 20 years old. I was 20
Mm-hmm.
years old. My second year of college. I went to Alabama A&M at the time, and my middle brother called me and said, "Look, I hit Lil Rob up, which is our big brother, and he's coming in town. So would you like to come?" And it was an absolutely yes, to get a chance to be a part of that moment. And
Mm-hmm.
at the time, my father, a year prior, he had stage 1 lung cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So it literally fast forward that fast. And we just got a chance to spend time with each other and meet my brother. We got a chance to be a part of my father's life at the time, and even meet my brother was like meeting your best friend that you haven't seen in 5 years. So it wasn't like it didn't feel discomfort. It was comfortable to be around that. And my mom and me and my other brothers at the time, him and my mom was divorced, but they kept a relationship with us to co-parent and still had a friendship after they, healed their wounds to be able to do that. And it was amazing. It was like this how I put the moment when my father seen his three boys. It was like a Mona Lisa being painted because the his eyes, he was so happy. I don't know if you ever seen somebody smile through their eyes and that
Mm-hmm.
glisten. That's how it was. It was so you felt the positivity and the positive spirit in the air. I never felt anything like it. Um,
Wow.
so from that time, it was like 4 days went past. My brother went back to Las Vegas, Nevada, and 3 days went past. I witnessed my father going from eating to not eating, walking to not walking, talking to not talking, living to dying.
Wow. 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 And that was a pivotal point in your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I had two more significant ones before that, but that was the most impactful of my
Mm-hmm.
life. The
Mm-hmm.
things that I went through, even from meeting my brother and spending time with my father and burying my father to going right back to college, it was an episode, a roller coaster of emotions tied into that.
Mm-hmm.
From that moment of losing my father and going back to school, it didn't stop there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I went from joy to meeting my brother for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I went to just feeling abundance of love from us being together. I
Mm-hmm.
went to grieving and disbelief at the same time. I went from strength and focus to knowing that God was in the midst of that as I had to lay him to rest. And my
Wow.
mom was telling me to like slow down, calm down. But when I got back to school, I literally the very next week, burying him to going to school was literally just like that. Like literally next week went right back to school because I already missed 2 weeks and I wanted to continue what I started. But when I finally sat down, that's when all them emotions from that point sat down with me. I didn't realize how frustrated I was. I didn't realize how stressed I was, how depressed, and that grief hit me later. And I
Mm-hmm.
went to a guidance counselor to get some advice about the situation. And she told me something that felt like a smack in the face. She said, like, wow, hold on. You decided to come back. Nobody didn't make you. So it was like, wow. I had to finish what I started. A week went past and I'm like, let me get more acclimated with my spirit. Cause it was a big void that was gone. I never felt so hurt a day of my life, that pain. And from that point, my roommate that was staying with me, he moved out and took some of his stuff and took his stuff with him, but also stole from me as well. And
Wow.
yes,
Wow.
yes.
And so with that decision and knowing that you was going through the pain, at what point did you make the decision to heal from this?
So this was the point. So I never been big on materialistic things. And the point was when one of the most significant things that my father gave me before he passed, my roommate took. And that was a gold watch. That gold watch. And how it went was I came in my room, noticed my TV and game was gone. Looked to the other side, know that all this stuff was gone. I instantly was frustrated. I called my mom, let her know everything that was going on. And she said, "What about your jewelry? Did you check that?" And the crazy thing is, I usually wear that watch every day. But that day I was rushing to class, so I decided to leave it in my room. I checked what my jewelry was, and it was gone. And from that point, a whole nother emotion came. A rage came that I never felt. I was so mad I cussed while my mom was on the phone, and I punched the wall. And it was some advice that my mother gave me that I will give to anybody. And when you're going through that rage and when you're going through that emotion, she gave me the advice to get down and pray.
Mm.
And when I did that, I made a intentional decision to truly pray and give everything to God. And that's when my real relationship with God began. In the midst of that prayer, it was something going on that I still can't explain, that it might sound crazy, but it's only supernatural. As I was praying, it was a flame that I felt and synced inside of me that turned on a whole different direction of my life, because I knew that I had to take control of my life. I knew that I couldn't allow these moments of my life to keep me down. I knew that I had to push through and focus and know that I lost somebody significant, things that been going on I can't explain, but it's still a father. It's still a creator. It's still the Alpha and Omega that always have my back. That had my back through losing my father. It was crazy how being 19, 20 years old, understanding that I'd rather see my father pass on to the transition than see him going through things where he wasn't himself. I can, like, who else can explain that? Who else can how can that understanding come across you if it ain't something inside of you guiding you and telling you that it's going to be okay? So that's how I knew building that relationship with God, and that pivotal moment created something that I didn't know until 8 years later. I went through every emotion to control my emotions. And now I understand it's meant for me to teach people how to control their emotions.
Come on. Come on. Wow. It was so much. Like, that was a power packed moment in this whole, like, 2 minutes. But one of the things that I got from you, Brother Kendall, is to push through. And that flame that came up inside of you, that was that passion, right? And to set the tone that no matter what you're going through, building that relationship with God, absolutely. But it was intention. Intention is cause. If y'all listen to this, write this down. Intention is cause, which means the more intentional you are, the more you can cause things to happen in your life. And you was able to cause a whole change by being intentional. And as I listened to your story, Brother Kendall, and thank you for being very vulnerable, because it's painful when you lose a loved one, right? It's painful when you lose that father or that mother, right? But here it is, as a young Black man, I think you said you was 19, you lost your dad, and you watched him going from this able man to this weakened man. But then you also know that in that transition was power for you. And I listened to your story, and for anybody that's listening, how you could take that pain and turn it into passion and power, healing. When I lost my father, I went through those same emotions. It was a barometer of emotions. But I was going through it. I'm gonna say it like this. I was faking. I was faking, brother, and I didn't even know I was faking. I didn't know I was faking a smile. I thought I was real with that. I didn't know all of the things, because the reality of it is, when I finally was able to discover the real place where I was at, the real place, I was stuck at the bottom of my emotions. I was stuck in the why, and I did not have an answer. I didn't have an answer why. I kept questioning God, but I was questioning God low key, because I was like, well, you're not supposed to question God, right? So I didn't listen for the answer, which means it took me a long time to accept it. And I feel like anytime you have the right to question God, you have the right. It's just the manner in which you question him, right? And so it just took me a long time to really identify and accept that I really was in grief. But when I did that, and it was 10 years, but I was faking. Remember what I said? And I was faking all of the other emotions. I was here, happy, but no, that wasn't the real me. But when I finally got to that point, Brother Kendall, and I want you to speak on this word, when I finally got there, it was when I finally accepted it, that was healing for me.
Yes.
So the two words that I would like for you to communicate, what do these two words mean to you as it relates in your journey, acceptance and healing?
Mm. Whew. Accepting and healing. Ooh, that's deep. Accepting and healing. So accepting and healing is something that comes from the root. It comes from the root. So for me to be strong to get over losing somebody significant, that came from a strength that came from something else.
Mhm.
And that accepting was when I knew that I had to be determined and create resilience in my life.
Mm.
And that came from several different trials before losing my father. And them trials are in place to show you who you are, show you where you came from. Like I had to accept the fact that at the age of 12, struggling to read three-letter words, understanding that I was sleepwalking at that age, understanding that having a support system in my life made a difference, understanding that if I didn't have that, where would I be at? So pushing and pursuing a greater cause of my life is how I healed. Knowing that my father, would he want me to sit on that emotion? Will he want me to stop my journey? Will he want me to just lay down and give up? Because if I was that type of person, I would have did that when I struggled to read. Because even though my parents gave me that help, I still had to do the work myself. I still had to tap into that person who was inside of me by my mom just telling me, you are very intelligent, but you are struggling to read. But once you grasp that knowledge, it will open up your life to a new world. So me being 30 all the way down to 12, I can remember it like it was yesterday. So by struggling with reading, struggling with understanding my emotions, I never had a problem with rage, but I had a problem with sensitivity. In that way, that's a strong emotion.
That's a strong emotion. That's a strong one.
Yes. So the accepting is the fact that knowing that I was stuck, but knowing that I won't remain stuck, knowing that I was hurt,
Mm.
and grieving, but knowing that it will never completely go, but every day will get better and better. And that created who Mr. Overcomer really is.
Mm-hmm.
So to kind of fast forward a little bit, after that second year of losing my father, I came back home and started picking up my career of logistics and supply chain management, because that's what I was taking up in school. So I took a year off, got a certification from a community college where it taught me key core values of logistics and warehouses and forklifts. And I decided to start pursuing that purpose, that career. I mean, not say purpose, career. But I realized it was more and more with me being in St. Louis. I left for a reason. So me trying to just pursue a job and a career, I knew it was more. I knew it was more than that, because something that I experienced when I was 17, 18. This is a pivotal moment of my why. I was out at a party one day with a couple of my friends. It was around Christmas time. So this was like 2010. I was about a sophomore, junior in high school. And I just used to be one of them young men that like to go out and have fun and party and dance. And out of nowhere, somebody just started shooting a drive-by. And me and my friends, and it was a young lady behind me that I didn't know. It was me and her, and then it was a space between the next person. Fell over like dominoes. And the crazy thing was, I could not fear that moment because the girl behind me was pulling my dreads so tight where the pain kind of defaulted the fear, if that makes sense. But I remember the wall was right here, looking to my right, and some telling me to look to my left. Seeing a young man just shooting across wildly across the roof. And when it was done, everyone got up. But the young lady that was probably 12 feet away from me, and I looked to my back, looked behind me, and there was a young man there on the ground, about 5, 6 feet away from me. Later on, I realized that young man died.
Mm.
And it just played back in my mind that that could have been me. That could have been more people. It could have been anybody else. But that young man that was same age as me, 16, 17, lost his life and could not continue to live on. And year after year after year, more people losing their life,
Mm.
more people dying. Just like I lost my father
Mm-hmm.
at the age of 20, just like I lost my grandma 4 years later. Grief hit me different,
Mm.
but it also keep me strong
Mm.
because tomorrow isn't promised, and I have to live on for them people. That's one of my
That's powerful. That is so powerful. So you have seen the cycles of life, the
yeah,
coming and the going, and the coming in and going, and to be so close to death, it changed your life. But
yeah,
in that moment, and I love what you said, the pain overrode the fear. Because maybe, and I don't know if this is true, but I'm just gonna say it as I imagined the story as you was saying it. Maybe if the fear would have been there, you may have jumped up or moved a different way. Makes sense? But because you was in pain, you had to lay there. Did the girl make it?
yeah.
That's a blessing. So what would you say to, and thank you. You know, I heard you say that you had to do the work because you were struggling with reading. You had to tap into. You understand?
Yeah.
Then you go through tragedy. What would you say? You knew that you was stuck at some point. What would you say speaking to a person that have experienced loss after loss, but they have the tenacity, but they just feel stuck as they're listening to this and they listening to your story. And because your story is a page in somebody's book. What would you say to that person, especially a young man, in particular, a young Black man?
Don't give up. I know it's so cliche. I know you hear it a lot, but as people lose their life, younger, too many people are not living like older like they used to. It's so much potential you have in you. It's so many people that's looking at you in a positive way. It's so many people that you have to save. It's so many people you got to live for. It's so many people that you have to reach out to as you go through these life-changing experiences. Your mind shifts. But it's up to you how your mind shifts. It's up to you how you allow these pivotal moments to live on through you. These pivotal moments to make a difference in your life. And as the name of your podcast, Heal on Purpose. Heal on Purpose is going through traumatic things because in life, from the time you born to whatever you age, the age that you is now, you would never stop going through things.
Teach.
So it's a couple mantras that I live by. One, with this particular one I'm leaning to, life don't get no easier, you only get stronger. So you adapt to these things. My most significant mantra: turn your pain into your superpower.
Teach. Wait.
The thing.
Write that in the comments, y'all. I want that right there to penetrate your mind, your heart, and your spirit. Turn your pain into your superpower. I'm sorry I had to cut you off on that because we couldn't let you drop that bomb and just keep going. So turn your pain into superpower. Continue on.
I wasn't always this person with struggling to read and not understanding how to conversate. It made me a true introvert. It made me afraid of life. It made me timid of life. I was a crybaby. Look, let's be real. I was a crybaby to both of my parents. I used to be very clingy. I used to be very insecure. And that's because I realized I was in denial about really loving myself, really understanding myself. That struggle created that. But as I grew age-wise, mature-wise, wisdom-wise, but most definitely spiritually wise. I knew God had a bigger calling on my life. And 8 years from that point of losing my father, I knew it was time for me to leave St. Louis again. So I made what I call executive decision. And this is, take a note on this. An executive decision is that decision that you have to make to benefit your life, but it's going to be very uncomfortable. It's not going to please others. It might not please yourself because you have to make sacrifices. But what is going to benefit you, the long term, the long goal, you have to make executive decisions in your life that's better for you. Don't nobody know your vision like you and God. And when I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, I didn't have no idea that I was going to be an empowerment speaker, a certified purpose coach, a development facilitator, and an author. In my first year, New Year's 2021, is when I set foot in Atlanta, Georgia. And then 4 months went past. I was just working. But it was something inside of me saying, ask God why you're here. And I prayed on it. And God told me motivate. So this is where it get real good. God told me motivate. And it was a conversation that I had with an aunt that I was speaking so wise that she was like, this is the third time she said that, and I did not know who this man was, right? She said, you remind me of Les Brown. Want to know what I said today? I said, who is she?
Wow.
And when she told me that third time, something told me I need to do my research on this man. And I started indulging myself in motivational videos. I binge watched Les Brown like that whole year. And as I did that, I started my YouTube channel. I did that to work on my voice, work on topics to speak on that was motivation, to get a gist of it. And I was thinking like, I'll eventually meet Les Brown. I eventually bumped into him, but something told me, why bump into him where you can join the boat with him? So I put myself first. As what our mentors say, I betted on myself.
Bet on you.
I invested in their organization to find my speaking voice and find my story. And I did more than that. I grew a community of lovely people like Sister Naira and major people, Roshika Davis, Jessica Moore, Ashley K, Stephen, Anthony Smith.
Yes.
Hey, Deborah. Hey, our family. Y'all gonna know these names. Marcus Black. Y'all gonna know these names as when we get more and more up. Y'all gonna know these names, I promise you. And when I grew that fellowship, I knew it just didn't stop there. I started working on my my life coach certification, a 6-month program. That was the most disciplined thing that I ever did, because every Wednesday I was on that call. And I didn't do that. Everything that I did towards motivation was more than a motivational speaker. I wanted to be a motivational speaker with rep, with things under my belt. I was 27 years old stepping into this. I got 5 certifications my first year here at 2021. Mentored by Les Brown. I started my business of It's Time to Step Up, and I'm going to come back to that. And most of all, I published my first book on my birthday, September the 8th that year.
Come on.
And everything that I've been through created who I am today. It created It's Time to Step Up. I know MR.Overcomer sound good, but God gave me that name because he knew and see everything that I've been doing from this point. And I realized that I specialize in emotional intelligence, that I specialize in personal development with mental health tied to it. And It's Time to Step Up. The mission of that is to uplift those who desire internal guidance, no matter what backgrounds, by displaying principles of life. Our vision is to build work ethics in our society, personally and professionally, by turning pain into power.
Come on.
And God gave me an ultimate goal. That ultimate goal is to impact 1 billion teenagers around this world. The funny thing is, I researched how many teenagers is around this world. Guess how many it was?
How many?
1.1 billion.
Wow.
That means every single teenager.
Wow.
When I looked at that, I said, hold on, I think I need to lower that number. God said, you better not.
Come on.
I didn't just make that number out. These visions and so much more, from building a workshop to being a part of a business, the Brains Magazine Global 500 list. The list goes on. being interviewed by a reality TV star for my book, going to an event, being being having a recommendation from one of first councilman of South Fulton. These came from opportunities, me sticking my neck out here, me getting uncomfortable, and gaining these things, gaining these knowledges, and knowing that no way that this young man that struggled to read three-letter words, that lost his father at the age of 20, that could have lost his life at the age of 17, just out the blue said, I'm gonna be a speaker. God put this purpose on my life to be this global empowerment leader.
Good God Almighty. And you know what? And thank you for sharing the how you got over story, right? Taking that pain and making it into your superpower. And as I heard you say some powerful things about when you're going through you're going to go through a mind shift, but you determine how that mind going to shift. And it's you. Come on now, everybody that's listening, your mind, if you are a student of life, is shifting even as we speak. But you take the words, you take the energy that's being put out right now as you're listening to this podcast, and let your mind and heart shift for a higher call. Because that's what I heard you say, Brother Kendall. God called you and you answered.
Yes.
God gave you a vision and you're making that vision into a reality. But you was humble enough, because way back when you said you set an intention to build your relationship with God. So now when you speak, you're listening, you heard. And I want to talk about this because this is very key. The power of investment. Many of us don't want to put that money in to get the product, the valuable final product, right? Which all of the investments, you had to put time, you had to put energy. It was a discipline. People don't understand. It's a discipline when you acquire knowledge, your intellectual power, and your intellectual power, but your intellectual property.
Yes.
To be able to come back and give to those of us, or those of us, or those who have not invested in themselves and had the discipline. This is where you talked about I had to do the work, right? This is how you tapped in. So let's talk about the power, because we both coaches, we both mentors. Let's talk about the power of coaching, being coached, but being a coach, and the power of investing in yourself. Because I truly believe, and I'm gonna be quiet because I get passionate now. You done brought the passion out of me on my own podcast. I truly believe that people gotta invest in themselves and give up something to gain more. We need more leaders, Brother Kendall.
Yes.
So yes, let's talk about that.
So the investment, which one would you like to talk about first? The investment.
Let's talk about the power of investing.
That's straight. Look, power of investment, right?
In yourself.
In yourself. You're gonna have to always do that to get to the next level. It is no way around it. Financially, first, and then the discipline behind that. Because you just can't invest in the course do the work for you. So it's oh my God, what a start. It comes from stop being disobedient to God. And because when everybody has a purpose, and everybody has a different purpose on this world. First, you got to figure that out. But you're going to have to invest into some things to figure it out. So in 2019, right, this is prime example of investment. I was locked in on being a day trader, trading the futures, right? I was at this time 30, I was around 26. And I had my mind set on, I was studying every day. I had my mind set on being a day trader. Long story short, I lost the steam. That was honestly my main reason of coming to Atlanta, right? Let me tell you how God worked. Even though I lost the steam, but what investing into the market and just studying it and doing it, it showed me that it's many more ways to become wealthy and it's many more ways to find my purpose. So just investing into that, $1,500, probably plus, right? Knowing that some investments I'm going to stop, some investments going to keep going, but it's a pivotal moment in every time you invest. Even though if it doesn't stick to you, it's something that you can equip with that investment. If it's a one network, if it's one knowledge, if it's one gym, if it's another industry that you could tap into. So that's how I knew when God called me to motivate. I'm like, when you heard LLC, you like, what's tied with money? But when your purpose ring, it ain't got nothing to do with money.
That's right.
But you gonna have to invest. And whatever you feel like that purpose is, you gotta go all out. You gotta put it all in.
Yes.
You gotta invest what you can. Even when I first start, at this point in my life, I've been on about 20 different stages, counting virtually. And half of those I paid for, and the other, like some of those was free. I just gotta start getting a couple opportunities that's paid. So it's a shift that you gotta make. So when you invest in something that's tied to your purpose, right? It's things that you gonna lose. But that's the part about being a leader, right? When you truly know what a leader is, you know that you got to benefit others more than yourself.
That's right.
That's that coach. Coach. You might not be a one-on-one coach.
Yes.
Shoot, you might not be a group coach.
Right.
But it's coach. You have to coach in every level of life.
Teach.
Because I don't necessarily consider myself a one-on-one coach. I want to grow to that. But I see myself more as a group coach. That's why I developed the workshop. But all in all, it's all about me speaking to the masses. I like to speak to crowds. I like to speak to hundreds and thousands because I have a message that I can give them to create a shift in a whole.
Yes.
And I can make a bigger impact. Where I can make a bigger movement in my life. It's something about every time, Sister Naira, I touch a mic. From the first time of speaking in South Carolina, thanks to our sister Ro, she gave me my first live speaking event. From the first time I made an impact to a lady coming up to me said, wow, I listened to your story. My father went to stage 4 lung cancer. I felt everything you went through. From coming to this point, knowing that nothing in this world that I ever did felt like when I touched that mic and speak in front of people, that's why I knew God called me to do that. But back to, if I didn't invest in myself, I would have never known.
That's right. That's right. And as I listen to you, Brother Kendall, so many people don't know their purpose on this planet.
That's true.
And I tell my clients and anybody that I talk to when we talk on the subject matter of purpose is you got to mind yourself out. And it's not always easy to do it by yourself.
Right.
When you have a mentor and you have a coach and you have a community that you are a part of that's like-minded and like-hearted.
Yes.
Come on, let me say that one more time, Brother Kendall.
I like that.
Like-minded and like-hearted. It helps you to get to that purpose faster. It helps you to be able to identify and name the purpose. You got to name some things in your life. You got to name it, want it, and then get it.
Yes.
Right? So if you can't name it, then get with an expert that can help guide you. That's the power.
Yes.
That's what I found, Brother Kendall, in the power of investing in myself
Yes.
beyond my religious community. Because even in
Yes.
my religious community, come on now, I get what I need. That helps me to build my connection with God. But I've also found that I gotta have collaborations, and I have to do other things to help fortify me in my purpose.
Yes.
Jesus spoke to the multitudes. Jesus spoke to the least of thee. So if
Yes.
we're Christ like, we got to be able to speak the language of the people to be able to reach them in the story.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what I found with the power of investing in myself and being a coach and meeting people like you. You understand? If I would have never been in Les Brown program, I would have never came across your greatness. Think about that. I would have never heard your story. And I've heard your story before, but what I'm saying is we're a brotherhood and a sisterhood. You understand? So thank you for sharing your story and talking about the power of investing. Now here you are. You're a coach now. You're an empowerment coach. You're a mentor. You're a leader. You hold a microphone. You've spoken on many different stages, right? You have your own business. How your journey to this point as far as being in Atlanta, how did Atlanta literally impact that? Because I did hear you tell me on the background about being in a relationship. How did Atlanta change the whole dynamics and being able to expand your message and your story and your business?
He did everything for my life. If I would have stayed home, I would have still been playing small. I would have been trapped. I I I I look back at that moment like if I didn't move, I don't see myself publishing a book. I don't see myself speaking to the masses. I don't see myself finding that one time that I said that God told me motivation. I don't see myself that one time when I decided to look at Les Brown and binge watch him. That one time I decided to invest in Hunger to Speak. It did everything for my life because even though I built a relationship with God, I still didn't know my purpose.
Mm, mm,
And
mm,
purpose is key. And purpose is what I found in Atlanta. Like when anybody say, "Oh, how you feel about Atlanta?" I love it. Opportunity and network. Everything that I came here for, I've been finding. Has it been easy? No, it has not. It still ain't easy. It still ain't. I prompt. Look, I ain't gonna even kid around you. And Sister Naira could testify to this. Yes, it's not easy. We speaking because y'all don't see the groundwork that we really put to be in front of y'all speaking and speaking with this fortitude. It took us to persevere each
yes.
and every day. Don't you? I'm gonna be very transparent. You don't even know the times that I question myself and ask, am I still a good speaker just because I haven't spoken in a while?
Mm,
Right? Just because the opportunity hasn't came. But I have to recenter and refocus myself and remember that it's people that need me. It's people that I must do. And don't nothing make me more happier than pursuing my purpose. Right. And to kind of bring back in the center what it's time to step up, what this organization is, my main direction is doing high school speaking tours, assemblies, because high school, like, and this is something that I have to figure out as I pursue my purpose. I connect with other people. I connect with nonprofits. I connect with business peoples. I'm very good at it too. I connect with community leaders and everything. But what is that niche? What is that audience? When you find that purpose, what is that number one thing? What is your mission statement? What is your vision? What is your goal? Those things I did not know right away. I rewrote my mission statement and vision like 4 times, 3 times already. And it took me to go through that trial and error to realize who God called me to impact. And the impact was that young man that was 12 going to 18 that struggle with motivation, that struggle with literacy, that struggle with self-love. That was me. So as me becoming Mr. Overcomer, what did I overcome? And it's something that I say, and I'm gonna say at the end too, but I'm gonna let y'all know. Every mountain that I come across, I get over, and I also show people the path across the mountain.
Mm. Come
That's,
on, Mr. Overcomer.
that's who Mr.
Come on.
Overcomer is.
Come
That
on.
name will be around this world, and money will be tied to that. But don't get it twisted. But it's not about the money.
That's
It's
right.
not. It ain't about. I promise you, it's not about the money. The money is to make sure we can do that to the capability that God called us to do it. But at the end of the day, I'ma always be happy pursuing this purpose because I came from a place where I was afraid to speak, where I didn't know myself, clingy, insecure, where I had to set a boundary and set a purpose in my life of who I am. So I never forget where I came from. Yes, I'm growing foundations in Atlanta, but this is to make it easier for me to go back to St. Louis and rinse, wash, and repeat.
Okay, wait a minute. You say rinse,
Wash,
wash,
and
and
repeat.
repeat. All right, y'all. Y'all listen to that. Rinse, wash, and repeat. Okay.
And
Going back home. Mm-hmm.
what that mean is make it set your footprint, set your foundation somewhere. Get it perfect enough where it's on auto. Where the next place that you set foot at is so much easier to do. That's the repeat. The rinsing is setting it up. The washing is making it good. And the repeat is doing it at the next place.
Doing it the next place. Opening those paths. Wow. So let me just say this, because as we're getting ready to wrap this up, what's the name of your book?
I Am Motivation, I Am Success, Inspirational Quotes to Unleash Your Greatness.
And where can they find you at?
On Amazon, you could just put I Am Motivation, I Am Success, and put Kindle, like my name is spelled, and that will help you find me. That's the easiest, quickest way. Or you can just look at the link, but yeah, I Am Motivation, I Am Success, and put Kindle. Because if you just put a title, for some reason it's hard to find me, but just put Kindle and you would definitely find it. And on my Instagram and TikTok, I do daily inspirationals called Overcoming Every Day.
Yeah.
And those are just, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say give them your TikTok and Instagram so they can look you
Yes,
up.
that's at Mr. Overcomer. That's MR.Overcomer. So Mr. Overcomer on IG and TikTok, and also my website where you can see different pictures, different videos. It's time to step up, just like how it's spelled, how you see it. And so everything that I do is very intentional. Everything that I do is to collaborate. As this is, I gotta let you know that if you don't know, I'm pretty sure you do that. This is Black History Month. Yes. So we came very far as people. And one thing that I see, no knock to no other race, but one thing that I see in Georgia that makes it beautiful is the Black excellence. That's what's inspiring. You see it in education, you see it in politics, you see it in community leaders. And it's usually anywhere you go and try to connect with these different industries is much harder. But Atlanta, I can't speak for other places, but Atlanta makes it so easier for you to do that. I met people. I met a economics teacher that I'm gonna shout him out. His name is Shibby Brooks. That has an amazing story, a powerful story about his losing his son a very significant way. To him pushing out to become the first male active teacher in Black. I'm pretty sure not the first Black, but he's Black male active teacher, currently teaching right now, to be on APS, Atlanta Public School Board of Education, in
Wow.
150 years.
Wow.
Another young lady that I helped on the campaign team that helped run for the councilman of South Fulton, which is Dr. Mark Baker, was running for House of Representative. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. But his campaign manager is now a councilwoman for District 5 of South Fulton. You know, connecting the dots with extraordinary people that I'm supporting, you know, growing with, elevating with. That I can only thank God, you know, grateful to have these type of people in my corner. So I'm a living example of how to overcome and how to do it. And the topics that I speak about is success, leadership, perseverance, and most of all, self-identity. That's what I
We
struggle with
need
the
that.
most.
We need that. We need that, and we need you. And again, life is about positioning in your purpose. And what we've heard from you today, you have positioned yourself in your power by finding your voice, using your voice, impacting the masses, overcoming to step up and give us a message. I learned from you today, Brother Kendall, that the mind does shift, but you determine how the shift is going to take place. I just love the way you phrased that. And I pray that many that has heard this podcast today, they will push through. That no matter what life brings, that's what I got from you. Push through and be intentional in your push through. And don't be afraid to get a coach, to invest in yourself. And I truly believe, Brother Kendall, that Black men need Black men in their lives.
Yes.
And you are an excellent example from my knowledge of knowing you, the demonstration and the sacrifices that you put forward. You're an excellent role model. You're an excellent example of a young Black man that's willing to give himself to other people, but in particular, young Black men. So
Yes.
I definitely want to encourage people to follow you on Instagram, follow you on TikTok, go to your website, get your book, and even book you for whatever it is that you know somebody may have going on, a speaking engagement, they need a facilitator or whatever, because your passion will definitely help unlock purpose and power in others. And so thank you for taking the time. I usually ask my guests to very sum it up very quickly. As somebody is listening to you in this podcast right now, 3 things that you want them to have, 3 points that they can apply in their life right now. When they turn the podcast off, that they could actually walk away with from listening to you, what would that be?
These are the topics of my 3 speeches. Life don't get no easy, you only get stronger. You have to go through the storm and to get through the storm. And my most favorite one, the thing that made me me, turn your pain into your superpower.
Mm. Y'all heard it from Mr. Overcomer. Y'all heard it. What can we expect from you next, Mr. Overcomer?
Truly building in these school districts. Mm-hmm. That's my main and ultimate objective. Get to these teenagers because they need it. I'm sure. I kind of want to close with this so we can have this on our mind.
Yes.
People that don't live in Atlanta, it was a Mays High School, 4 students got shot. Tri-City High School, a couple other students got shot. The Kansas City Chief Parade, 10 people got shot. We have to step up and do better. Step up in our life, step up in the society, step up to be the leaders. Change one life, change multiple lives, and you can make a difference. But you have to get outside of yourself and become uncomfortable and be intentional about being better and doing better, not being self-centered, and figuring out how can you be a servant, because that's what we all here for, to be a servant to the community, to make it a little better so we all can make it more better.
Well, brothers and sisters, listening audience, those that are around this country and beyond, I want to thank y'all for listening to my brother. No matter where you are on the planet, if he has a message that can impact you or in your audience, book him. Book him today. Book him. He can do virtual. He can do come in live. However, he's a traveling man, and I support him. I co-sign his message. Thank you, Brother Kendall. I'm gonna put you in the back, and I have some announcements for my listening audience. I want to thank you so very much for taking the time.
One thing,
Yeah,
and I'm done.
mm-hmm.
I'm Mr. Overcomer. Every mountain I come across, I get over, and also show people the path across the mountain. Y'all stay blessed.
Stay blessed. Okay, look, wait. Stay blessed, everybody. And for that, how you started off, you blessed, black, and highly favored. Okay. Bet on you, Brother Kendall. All right, hold on. I'm gonna put you in the back. Hey, y'all heard it from Brother Kendall. I mean, this is a powerful young man, and I'm so excited that he actually took the time to come on and be with Sister Naira here on the podcast. And you heard him, you heard it right here on this podcast. We need more leaders. In the repair of the Black family, we have developed a program where we're actually developing more leaders. If you are the person that need to be able to expand your leadership in your own personal life, your family life, your business life, you want to build teams, you want to be able to take your leadership to another level, a higher level, then I ask that you book a one-on-one consultation with Sister Naira. We're going to put the link in the comment section. You also can find it in my link in my bio. Personal development, family development, because the family is truly a business development, team development. We're going to help you with establishing more freedom in your life so that you can be that servant leader, growth, being able to be duplicatable. I mean, and just much, much more. Our leadership and development process is program is growing, and it's growing at a very large rate. You're dealing with a leader, okay? So Sister Naira and Brother David, we're happy to serve you. Go ahead and book an appointment today. And then as it relates to building relationships, as you can see, Ignition transformational life coaching retreat that's coming up in August. We're already taking deposits. We're already booking for this mother, daughter, father, son retreat in Orlando, Florida. We are super, super, super exciting. This is where you're going to build your communication skills. You're going to have conflict resolutions. You're going to be able to take your relationships to higher levels. Remember, you don't have to be a mother, you don't have to be a father. This is a relationship retreat where we're actually bringing forth relationships, building relationships so that we can help the family unit. So you can also book a one-on-one consultation with Sister Naira. The link is in the comments. And again, if you do not have my book, go ahead and get the book, The Repair of the Black Family Anthology. Look, books make statements, okay? This book is the healing balm to the Black family, to the family in general. We ask that you get this book. You can find it on Amazon. This book has 33 powerful authors. We're telling our stories, we are telling our lessons learned, and we're giving you 3 actionable items that you can literally apply in your life to solve whatever your family may be going through, to be a healing balm in the family unit. And last but not least, last but not least, look, Sister Naira is helping to candy cleanse the world. We have a cleanse, but you can detox, be able to lose weight. It's a drink with benefits. This drink is so good. It helps to eliminate and eradicate parasites. It helps with mental clarity, mental focus, energy, and also to betterment your skin and your sleep and much, much more. I want to thank you all for listening as you have tuned into the Heal on Purpose podcast. I want to leave you with this quote since we talked so much on purpose today. Manuel Suarez, he says, money is not the end goal, it's purpose. Find your purpose and live in your purpose. Thank you for listening as I greet you all with peace, love, and light. Peace.